All right, everybody, welcome back. And yes, we're not in the studio today, unfortunately. We had some problems. It's the Formula One guitar preview. Just boiling the kettle. I'm in my apartment and see what it's all about here at home. But I think it's going to be a very, very good guitar Grand Prix. It's going to be awesome. The track is so cool, guys. Now, before we get to it, why am I not in the studio? Problems with it. I even recorded my guitar preview, put it on Spotify. So if you're listening on Spotify, you can still hear the full version. Problem is, sometimes on YouTube, they say that you can use some footage from Formula One, Formula1.com, or whatever it is, and they all of a sudden say, nope, you can't use this footage. So I couldn't do an onboard. So I said, well, you know what? To hell with that. I'll just do one at home. You know why? And it's fine for this one. You know why? Because this one is really exciting and there's plenty to talk about. So, as I get myself a cup of tea here, and by the way, before we get into it, organic cranberry juice, guys, if you're looking for some real healthy stuff, don't get the stuff that you get in Tesco or Aldi or Dunn's or in America, Vons or Target. None of that, all right? It's not good. It's loaded with sugar. You go to a health store, this type of thing. Now, you watch. Most important, ask for the organic cranberry juice, not cranberry juice, organic cranberry juice. And this stuff, you just put a little bit into a pint glass, fill it up to about maybe there, and then fill the rest of the pint glass, and you're perfect. You're away with it. It's so good. It cleans out your system, especially when you booze. And hey, I'm Irish. I'm a boozer, so it's good for me to actually do it. So anyway, I'm getting my cup of tea. Lot to talk about. Verstappen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with 5 races to go after this weekend, 5 races to go, and he could be champion this weekend. And he could be champion in the sprint race. All he's got to do is finish 6th. That's it, within the top 6, and he is a 3-time world champion. Up there with Ayrton Senna on 3. And who else? Jackie Stewart, another unbelievable driver, Jackie Stewart, Scottish guy. You should check him out, guys, on YouTube. He's fantastic. He was amazing back in his day. Ayrton Senna, well, he's the best of all time. No two ways about it. And you got Verstappen up there too. So, I mean, no matter what, phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. Red Bull have been so dominant this year, haven't they? It's just unbelievable. Verstappen, I think, even if he is a disaster sprint race, all he's got to do is get up to 6th for the actual Grand Prix itself on Sunday. So, I mean, the guy doesn't have a mountain to climb here. He really doesn't. Even for the next 5 races. I mean, now, forgive me, guys, like I'm not in the studio. I don't have the exact points. Well, I'm actually pretty close anyway. Verstappen has almost double the points that Perez has. As far as I remember, I mean, it was just fucking no, not double the points. That's just stupid, Peter. But he's got like 6 races in the bag, right? Is it just over 6, or no, just under 6? So if he wins at this one, then he gets it, right? I'm not the greatest at maths, guys, so bear with me. So I think that's the way it is, right? If it's under 6 races, he gets the championship this weekend, then he's the winner, right? God, brain fade. Oh my God. But anyway, either way, doesn't matter. He's looking really, really good right here. And can anyone take him down this weekend? Now, okay, who do I think is going to be good this weekend? Right now, the track is a really cool track. Now, if you watch an onboard, which unfortunately YouTube striked it, but no big deal. It's a really cool track. You should YouTube it. Qatar F1 pole lap. And they show Hamilton going around at nighttime taking the pole lap. And some people say it looks like a boring track. Not for me. If I was a race driver and I was out there now, I'd love that track. Now, it's quite easy, but there's a challenge to it too. Because even the first two corners, they're coming from eighth, down 3 gears into fifth, carry the speed in, and they're long, windy corners, guys. So you really can carry the speed around the track. And even I think it's turn 6, right? Where there's four corners that are flat out. And the interesting thing, and I think this is where people are going to gain either a tenth or two, before they get to that 4 corner flat out section, there's one hairpin that I think is either they take it in third or fourth. Now, it's not a very hard hairpin. However, here's the thing. Even if they carry 1 mile an hour less into that corner, it's going to completely screw them for the next 4 corners. Because if you can come out of that bend, I'm not sure exactly what speed they are, but don't quote me, but let's just say example. If they're coming out of that bend at, let's say, 90 miles an hour. Now, if you're coming out of that corner at 89 miles an hour, you're screwed because you've got 4 flat out bends coming up. And if you're going through 1 mile an hour less, like guys, 1 mile an hour might not sound like a huge thing, but it's everything. It's everything. And I can tell you this, 1 mile an hour should be the difference between pole and off pole. And off pole, if you're not sure, off pole is second position. So pole is first, off pole is second. So it's a challenge. It kind of goes, I'm just putting my milk back in the fridge here, guys. It kind of goes unnoticed because the track seems very, very easy. But it's not that fucking easy. And trust me, it's actually quite technical because it is all about carrying the speed through the bends, keeping that revs up, keeping that momentum, especially coming out of that hairpin, that left-hand hairpin, going up into those 4 flat out bends. And even the last corner of those 4, you'll scrub a little speed. You'll even see that on Hamilton's lap. He just goes in just a little bit, all right? And he's full speed, but you can see there's a bit of a scrub off as he goes through. He's not lifting, just a tiny little bit of scrub off. So the interesting thing is, will some of the drivers try a different approach to that bend? Because sometimes it's kind of like Eau Rouge in Belgium. Normally, now, in Formula 1 cars, it's an easy corner, right? Flat out, bang, off you go. Whereas if you were in a Formula 3 or a Formula 4 car, what would happen is you'd go through and you'd have to lift just that little bit and then carry the speed all the way up the hill in Eau Rouge. Same type of thing for this corner here in Qatar. Now, yes, we're talking about different cars, but this corner would be the equivalent, if you know what I mean, as in you must maybe lay off the gas for just that split second and then get back on the power, because I think Hamilton lost a little bit of speed going through that corner. Now, he might have gained that 1 mile an hour extra coming out of that hairpin and then into that first, second, and third full speed corners, but he could have lost just that little fucking bit when he just scrubbed off that little speed. And believe me, guys, that scrub off speed can mean a lot too. So he might have gained going in, but he probably, and it looks like to me, I'll be honest, if I had to put money on it, he gained going in, but he scrubbed it off coming out. Now, he still had the best car anyway, so he was going to, well, chances are he was going to get it on pole, and, well, guess what? He did. So he got the job done. Now, I think that's where it's going to be. Those 4 corners this weekend, I would even treat those corners like one. Definitely, I would treat those corners like one corner. Especially that last one where you can potentially scrub off a bit of speed. So I think mechanical grip is going to be very, very important this weekend. Sometimes you'll find a driver and their team, they might even, what would you call it? Kind of the lazy approach where, okay, guys, we're struggling with a mechanical grip. Let's just put an aerodynamic grip on and we'll, kind of like putting a Band-Aid over a Band-Aid, right? Whereas really you should be treating the first Band-Aid and actually preventing Band-Aids in the first place, but you're just putting over 2 Band-Aids now. Sort of thing, right? So if they get their mechanical grip right this weekend, which I think Red Bull are going to be right fucking on it. They're going to be on it this weekend. They're going to be all over it. I think it's going to be hard to take them down. Now, here's the other exciting part of this weekend. Because it's a smooth track, there's no bumps. And if we saw Singapore, a lot of the drivers were struggling with their cars because of the bumps, right? It just threw the cars off their balance. The mechanical grip wasn't there. Then, therefore, if the mechanical grip isn't there, the aerodynamic grip can get affected too. So, in other words, basically, overall, in general, the grip can be affected. And it really suffers, like, just killed Verstappen there. It killed a lot of the big boys there. And even the slower cars were coming in and doing well there. So it just goes to show where one track everybody can do well, then you go to another track, all the guys that do well are nowhere, and the guys that are nowhere are right up there. So it's the beauty of Formula One. It's the beauty of motor racing. It's great, guys. It really is. It's great. So I think the cars are going to be quite close this weekend. I think because the track is smooth. People don't have to worry about the balance in a huge way. Let me put it that way. It's all about the balance, guys. Every track you go to, no matter what track it is, it's always about finding the right balance. But this track is more forgiving because the track is so smooth and so, how would you say, naturally fast. Maybe it's hard to explain here, right? But it's just slightly forgiving, right? It's not a huge challenge for the cars itself, but I definitely think if a driver's turned on this weekend and switched on, and he's got that extra little fucking kick in his bonnet, and he's thinking, he's on the ball, he's clever, they can make the difference between that extra 10th or 2 coming through those 4 corners. So I can't wait to see it this weekend. And hey, will we be crowning a new world champion? Probably. Will he get it in the sprint race? My predictions this weekend before we close, guys. My predictions, well, I'm going to say Verstappen. I think Verstappen's going to win the sprint race. He's going to win the Grand Prix. And before that, he's going to put it on pole for both sprint and the Grand Prix. So he's going to have 2 poles and he's going to have 2 wins. Oh, sorry, not 2 poles. Beg your pardon. No, he's going to be on pole for the sprint, win the sprint, bang. And he wins the race for the Grand Prix. So, isn't that right? Or am I having brain fade again? Jesus Christ. It's too late, guys. I've had a very, very long day, so forgive me. But anyway, bottom line, Verstappen takes the win in the sprint. Verstappen takes the win at the Grand Prix. Job done. God, it's been a really long day. Whew. I spent a day with my accountant, basically, guys, and my head it was like being in the dentist chair for about 4, literally I spent 5 hours. It was like being in the dentist chair for 5 hours. That just, pain you feel, I don't know how accountants do it. I swear to God, I really don't. Like these guys and girls deserve a medal for what they do. And they do this every single day. Oh my God. I would have killed myself a long time ago. Can't hack it. Anyway, okay, so where was I? Yeah, I see I'm everywhere today. Now, right, I think Verstappen's going to take the win, sprint and race, and I think we're going to have a new world Formula One champion. And not a new one, but the championship will be decided this weekend. Now, there's a lot to play for the other teams as well, guys. You've got Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes. There's a lot of money at stake. So even though, okay, if Verstappen clinches the championship this weekend, even for the rest of the races, believe me, the races ain't over yet, guys and girls, because you've got the guys in second and third, those teams, they're going to be chomping at the legs of the other teams to actually beat them to get to second or third. Now, you could say, well, why bother? And I know I always go on about who gives a shit about second. It's all about first, right? Well, that's for me. Yes, I do believe that. 100%. For the teams, though, the teams get more money. So like as in the team owner, the team engineers, mechanics, that side for them is very important because, well, for the team owner really and the sponsors, the higher up they finish in the championship, the more money they get towards funding for the year after. So it keeps the lights on. It keeps the lights on. So if you've seen Netflix Drive to Survive, you know exactly what I mean, because you see the way there's the teams in like sixth and seventh, they're battling for fifth. And I mean, even when they finish fifth, they're jumping up and down for joy. And I know you guys, I know I hate that shit. And it's like even the drivers, like, why are the drivers jumping up and down for fucking joy? I understand that they're happy for the team because you are a team. Don't get me wrong, you are a team. There's no need for be jumping up and down for joy. That's all I'm saying. You know, there's no need for that. So anyway, I think there's going to be very, very close racing. So even if we have a champion this weekend, it certainly ain't over, ladies and gentlemen. The racing is certainly far from over. So I hope you enjoy. And guys, if you didn't enjoy this video and you're used to me doing the onboard and in the studio, my sincere apologies. I did my best. YouTube just would not accept the video. I think it's the first time I've had this problem this year, isn't it? I think I had a problem this year, but then I got around it. Thank God. So this rarely happens, guys. Rarely happens. But I'll be doing my best to be in the studio on Sunday night. If there's a problem, well, I'll just have to come on here, and that's okay too. So, guys, I love you all for listening. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you Sunday. Bye.